This mutation is called Power Trip, and it is being played on Vermillion Problem. And it looks like Amon is tripping on power. So we have three mutators active. We have Long Range, we have Photon Overload, and we have Power Overwhelming. So Power Overwhelming by far is the scariest mutator of this list. Power Overwhelming will allow all enemy units to cast abilities from a global energy pool that replenishes relatively quickly. So it is very important to make sure that you do not end up losing your entire army to a bunch of enemy units, such as Zerglings that have casted the Black Hole and the Secret Missile on your face. So Dehaka is over here now, and he is going to be focus firing down some of these Stalkers. The Stalker gets a little barrier ability, which is also getting really annoying for Dehaka, so he just decides to just go around and take down some of the other Stalkers while they just keep firing as well. So over here, Dehaka finally eats up that Stalker that got his barrier upgrade, and Dehaka chooses to eat one of the Phoenixes and is going to try and lure some of these units a little bit back, I think. So Hanhorn puts down some mag mines over here, but the storm goes down on these two mag mines just to try and focus that down. Dehaka eats up the Void Ray at the end of that. And now Dehaka is just going to chill here for a while, just replenish some of his HP, while some of the macro keeps happening here. Production-wise, it's pretty standard builds here for both the players. We have a fast armory coming down here for Hanhorn to try and get some of these other upgrades coming up. We have a Photon Overload here caused by Dehaka's leap, which is, I think, a mistake, because I think Dehaka might get focus fired down by that. Oh, he just lives with 15 HP left. That was really close. I think that was an unintentional. You don't really want to hit that photon cannon, which ended up getting a photon overcharge casted on it. But overall, Dehaka is doing okay here. He's getting his Glevics down, and in a little bit he will be able to get some army units out. He's already put down his hive over here because he wants to try and get his fast expand out as quickly as possible. The first attack wave of the mission now has spawned, and it will come up this ramp, but Hanhorner is already on the ball here and and has a bunch of mag mines ready to deal with this attack wave. Dehaka is going to start pushing through again here and dealing some good damage. There is a mag mine that gets focused down here. The probe drops a Secret Missile on Dehaka just as a bit of revenge there, and this is why it gets a little bit tricky. Focus fire down on this mag mine triggers the Photon Overcharge again. Dehaka deep tunnels across here, draws some aggro of the Zealots into the mag mines, and the attack wave has been cleaned up relatively easily by the two commanders. Dehaka will now make his way back towards the expansion to try and continue his little onslaught against those innocent little probes that belong to Amon. So Dehaka decides to eat that Phoenix, and now there's an overcharge that was triggered over here. I think what happened is the mag mines that ended up triggering on this and hitting these structures, and that is why they still have the overcharge. So there's a strike fire platforms now coming out here, and Hanhorner will be providing a lot of air support to Dehaka. This probe actually casts a little shield, a sentry force field ability. It's not force field. The sentry guardian shield upgrade, the ability for the sentries on itself, which got the attention of Dehaka, which ended up eating it up in total. So over here we have a space station reallocation. Comes down the Nexus, clears out that Nexus, and there are a bunch of Phoenixes over here that may actually be. Oh, one of those Phoenixes is just slightly out of range of that space station reallocation. Glevic is here now to clean up whatever's left of the enemy base, and both these commanders are going to take their expansions at roughly the same time. There's now an attack wave that is coming up here, so Glevic gets deep tunneled across, and I think he wants to... Okay, he's going to use Glevic on this side. Just try and clean up this area here. A bunch of mag mines have come down, but it's a little bit delayed there. Kind of lucky he actually shot on the mag mines there. Ends up taking out a lot of the warp prisms and the army that had landed here. Dehaka is still trying to focus fire down some of this stuff. There is a Photon Overcharge and a Secret Missile that get triggered on Dehaka. Dehaka manages to deep tunnel out of the way and ends up saving himself here. And now we have another bunch of carpet bombing for Hanhorner. Hanhorner already has a napalm upgrade over here. And with that vision, Dehaka drops his Murvar, and his Murvar is going to continue the push on this side. So this is only at the 7-minute mark as well. This area has already been cleared. Another strike fire attack comes up here. This one zealot is going to have a really bad day. Down goes that zealot. Now there is just that set of crystals that need to be cleaned up. So once there's a little bit of vision there, I think that was a really nice strike over there. So he didn't even know where those zealots were. He just targeted exactly in the middle and just nuked those zealots in one shot. Really nice, nice shot there on the strike fires there. There's one extra SCV on the site. I think that was a bit of a mistake, but these SCVs are making their way back to the crystals to drop it at the environmental stabilizer. And there's an attack wave here, but Dehaka is already here and he knows what to do. And because this is a Protoss composition, which means it's going to send some Warp Prisms, all he has to do is just go ahead and eat one of these Warp Prisms and it's done. But we have a bunch of sentries now. A few strike fires go in to attack some of these Immortals. Immortals go down relatively quickly here with one last Immortal manages to survive there. Not for a very long time, but just for a little bit. And we have a defensive drone over here also. So this is one of the annoying things about this Mutator, is that the defensive drones are marked as attack waves because they respond by the attack wave. So strike fire gets dropped over here, Call on the Fleet gets dropped as well, Doctrine gets summoned here as well. So we have pretty much 3 call downs that were used to just try and weaken this side here. That Hybrid Dominator is relatively strong, and Doctrine ends up going down, but Godzilla's, at least Mini Godzilla now is here, just ends up eating that Dominator. And now there's just a Tempest that's left over here, and eventually it'll be taken out. Deep Tunnel here by the Greater Prime Worm, and it shoots down that Tempest. And the Point Defense Drone is still there, bothering everybody because it's pinging the mini-map. So over here, Handhorner is just taking out the static defenses. So Dehaka deep tunnels across here and just start dealing with that. Ends up eating up the hybrid, and he does have a 40-second cooldown here for his Devour. So it is actually giving him a little bit of a delay before he can actually go ahead and eat something else and regenerate his HP. But Dehaka is okay over here. Let's have a look at the production. Is Dehaka producing anything? He's making his Primal Host and his Creeper Host, which is okay. And we have a bunch of units that are being thrown out here now. So that's actually an interesting choice here. I'm actually surprised they have that much range. He's going to lay siege to the space, but I don't know if they're probably going to expire relatively quickly. Yeah, he needs to move them just a little bit closer, I think. Maybe just move them on this island. But they do have a good amount of range because they have a fairly high time to life there. Space station reallocation just wipes out that Nexus, and we have Glevic also here join in the party and clear some of these defenders here. Devour on the sentry instantly wipes a lot of the enemy defenders here, and we have 3 overcharges that are focused firing down Dehaka. Dehaka takes down that Forge, and a Scorched Breath here from Glevic takes out that cannon. And now there are 2 attack waves that are coming up for the allies here. So this one really depends where it sometimes goes up this ramp, and sometimes it just goes up here towards the allies' base. Usually it goes up this ramp though. So nope. This one has decided to go up that side, so someone will have to try and go ahead and deal with it. But yeah, there is vision now for Handhorner, so he's just going to drop some strike fires on this attack wave and weaken this side. Dehaka deep tunnels across and cleans up the attack wave and some of the harass wave that has spawned for the crystals here. Some of the Magmine do end up getting triggered by the 2 zealots that were wandering around, and now we have another set of explosive creepers that are going up here to just instantly clear this side, and they end up clearing up a lot of the structures over here. So those 2 structures end up going down, and that one is just overcharged. Orvar is now on this side, so just helping Dehaka, giving Dehaka some company. And we have this next set of explosive creepers that are moving towards this side, and that will also deal a lot of damage when they are able to find their target, which is Molten Cell. Unfortunately, not long enough before they end up dying out, so there's a little bit of a problem. Their time life is just a little bit too short to be able to make it all the way through. And attack wave has and a harass wave has spawned over here because the crystal spawned, but Dehaka was already in position and ended up wiping that side. A hand horner is targeting this this harass wave here, and that's pretty much gonna get cleared out by the time hand horner's SCV gets here. And we have a tactical jump for a battle cruiser just to clean up that immortal. And there is one last crystal over here. I'm not sure if that was cleared up. No, that side hasn't been cleared up yet. But the Dehaka will deep tunnel across, jumps into the fray, eats a sentry, essentially creates a psionic explosion and wipes out almost everything. And whatever immortal was left alive just gets slapped down by the Dehaka, and that area has been cleared. See, that probe is still alive there. He's like, I hope he doesn't notice me over here. I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing. Attack. And apparently the Dehaka did not realize that that probe was over there. So we have a call in the fleet now here to weaken this side out. And we have another Doctrine on this side as well. Doctrine does get yoinked by, I think, the Hybrid Dominator, which is kind of funny. Or it might have been that that Phoenix over here. But again, Doctrine does not really, even though he has a little bit of, HP and he has a damage reflect, it doesn't really make him very strong. But I might as well just use him. We have a bunch of explosive creepers now going in to clear this side. And this area has been cleared out as well. So I think most of this map has been cleaned up. Han Horner does have a number of assault galleons. He has a bunch of wraiths over here as well, and a battle cruiser. But most of the damage here is coming up from these explosive creepers that deal like an insane amount of damage here. I'm just gonna clean up these structures. Structures are gone now, and Han Horner is now in position to try and target Molten Cell. There is an attack wave that is coming up over here. And is he trying to get some vision? I don't think, yeah, his space station reallocation is still 45 seconds away from here. But Dehaka is already in position and he is ready. And because there are warp prisms over here, warp prisms are psionic, so all he has to do is eat one of these warp prisms and instantly, like, he can wipe out a lot of the attack wave here. And his next devour is going to be up very soon. I'm going to eat another warp prism. One more warp prism. Oh, he ends up eating the scout, unfortunately. The magmines, though, are enough here, and they will end up wiping out this this attack wave. There's still some other. There's still some of Amon's units that are parked on this side. I'm not sure what that might be. It could have just been a defensive drone that was put down that is now messing with the minimap pings, because that's what they tend to do. Explosive creepers now are moving towards Amon's base here, just to assert some dominance, just to teach Amon a little bit of a lesson. Do not mess with Dehaka and his buddy Han Horner. 3 crystals have dropped on this side, and there are a bunch of attack waves that are spawned. A black hole comes down. These explosive creepers almost getting caught in that black hole, but they were walking down the ramp at that time. There's an attack wave that is also making its way towards the player bases. We'll see where what happens over there. A little bit of vision gets casted over here just to try and take out some of this. Dehaka already deep tunnels across, gives a roar, eats one of the psionic units, creates an explosion, almost wipes out everything that is here. Dehaka is such a powerful commander, and these explosive, these creeper hosts are just laying siege to this enemy base now. And these explosive creepers just bouncing back and forth. Over here, yes. So that was a defensive drone that was causing a map ping. So that gets cleaned up as well. And that's pretty much it. So this enemy base is going to go down, and all these worms now get created here just to assert more dominance and flex on Amon, because Amon stands no chance against the onslaught of Dehaka's army. There is one last place over here now that needs to be cleared, and Dehaka spawns his Morvar, and there is a space station reallocation as well that has been used to wipe out some of the enemy structures and the defenders in the front line. So this area, this base is essentially completely exposed now. So all it is now is just a matter of time before this map gets completely cleared. There's one Nexus that ends up surviving on that side, but eventually that'll go down if they decide to all clear the map. But yeah, this area, this mission has been essentially cleared up. Over here we have yeah, so Han Horner wants to try and take this out. There are a bunch of probes here which he will need to try and focus fire down. Nexus does go down now, and there is an attack wave that has spawned on this side, but again, there is a lot of defenders here, and the creeper hosts are basically spawn camping that side. Amon's units can't spawn here without just getting completely obliterated, and a bunch of worms here to just clean up whatever's left of the probes. These are harass waves that have been spawned for the crystal spawns, and again, Dehaka is in position, combined with the with the support from Handhorner's Strike Fighters, so this is essentially completely cleared up here. Both players have essentially completely dominated this mission. They've completely all cleared the map as well. There's not a single probe alive and not a single Amon structure alive. Because Dehaka is just generally really good against Protast compositions. Like, having sentries scattered around the area just makes it so easy for Dehaka to just devour them and create that psionic blast that just instantly wipes out the attack waves, combined with the fact that the War Prisms are also psionic, so he is able to intercept the drops without having any problems with that. And that is the last crystal that has been turned in, and Viridia Prime has been saved, and that is GG.